Live exclusive coverage of the Slick 5500 on the Nashville Network is brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tire. You see, the backstretch of this racetrack is not straight. It's a looping, curving backstretch on this D-shaped racetrack. They've just restarted this race, and Mark Martin is the car that has just taken the lead from Kyle Petty on the outside at turn number 3.
Whatever chassis adjustment they made on that 6 car really made that car handle. He passed the 42 car on the outside going in the 3rd corner. I hadn't seen that done all day.
Now, right where we was talking about that dog leg, he got a good run on the outside and just drove around him going in the middle of the corner. Hard to do here.
Now, we've had several calls on the 800 number about what gear ratio the car is running, what rear end ratio they run on this flat mile track. And a lot of the teams don't like to talk about that, folks. We can't much tell you because, you know, that's one of their strategies. What springs you run, what, you know, it's a little bit more obvious. But what pump can you put in that center section of that rear end? A lot of folks don't like to let on and don't like to know how much RPM that they are running.
No, and you know, how you run to the points is one thing that can dictate what gear you got in. Yep. Mark Martin, he's sitting there twisting his motor out of the frame, going to win the race. 42 right there, probably turning it hard. Some of these guys have got to weigh it out and evaluate, do I risk blowing it up today? I know they got to finish racing, so a lot of things enter into what gear you put in the car.
It's a double-edged sword. You raise RPM, you lower reliability. No two ways about it.
The fuse gets shorter.
Yeah, that puts it much better.
Yes.
Here's Ralph.
Jeff Gordon waiting patiently in his car. Jeff, what happened to you?
I don't know. You know, the 3 car and myself were racing, and really, I know he's going for a championship. I'm not going to try to stop him. I mean, I was falling back. He clearly got underneath me, and for some reason, he got in my left rear. I don't know what happened, but sent us in the wall, and he's still out there.
The car is just damaged in the rear panhard bar. As soon as they get that fixed, Jeff will return.
They had a long run from the turn 1 end of pit road back to the garage area to get that torque fixed. Mark Martin by 3 car lengths over Kyle Petty, Rusty Wallace, Ernie Irvin. Bill Elliott is 5th, Rick Mast is 6th, Darrell Waltrip 7th, Sterling Marlin 8th, and Bobby Labonte in the 9th spot.
Neil, the 6 car made a big pass a while ago in 3, but he said that the 42 car was good in long runs, and you see him start to close the gap in a little bit here, and he's running a little bit lower through the corners. Looks like the car may be handling just a little bit better than Mark Martin's car.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think the racetrack's going to change a little bit. Since we started this race, we've had overcast, a little bit of cloud cover all day. Now we got some sun on the racetrack. So, I mean, now they've been catering it to that overcast condition. Now they got to go back the other way.
Dale Earnhardt is the 10th place car. Mike Waltrip, Chuck Strickland, then Dick Trickle, and the Citgo Ford of Morgan Shepherd. At 14th position, that's Ricky Rudd on the inside. Now Todd Bodine's made a couple of stops. But Lake Speed, Harry Gant, Dale Jarrett, and Steve Grissom are wrapped up in that one. Todd Bodine is 3 laps down in the 75 car, the factory stores Ford of Butch Mock.
Watching that 75 car, they got an extremely soft right front spring in that car. The whole front of the car was dragging the ground going in the corner. Look at this, Neil.
Yeah, they got the big ground clearance up there right at 5 inches. When they go down in this corner, they're dragging the ground. So, and you got to keep in mind, it's a flat racetrack. You're not pulling a lot of G's or anything. The chassis just as soft as traveling that much.
Trying to lap past Todd Bodine there. That's Lake Speed in the Bud Moore car. Harry Gant, Dale Jarrett, Steve Grissom. Pick up the race for 6th place. Back behind Bill Elliott. Rick Mast, Darrell Waltrip, Sterling Marlin, Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt.
There's Waltrip. He's been working his way to the front. I can't help but think before the day's over, he'll be a stronger player than this because just consistently turning out good laps.
His battle's about 4 seconds behind the leader. Eight different drivers have led this race today. Dick Trickle, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Sterling Marlin, Ernie Irvin, Jeff Gordon, Rick Mast, and Kyle Petty. Now there's Elliott. He's about 1 3/4 seconds behind 4th place Ernie Irvin, and just ahead of this pack. Sterling on the bottom again.
Before they repaved this track last year, once you made that move to the inside, you pretty well had that pass made. But as we talked about earlier, that outside lane is good now.
Several calls on our 800 line. We'll give you that number again. Toll free, it's 1-800-451-7331 if you have a question. And there have been a lot of them about Stanley Smith, the driver who was injured at Talladega. As we watch this race between Hut Strickland for 12th place, Dick Trickle, Morgan Shepherd, and Ricky Rudd. But Stanley Smith is at home. He goes to Lakeshore Rehabilitation Hospital in Birmingham in the morning, rehabbing for muscle injuries sustained from his head injuries, and he works with his family business in the afternoon. But Stanley Smith is well on the way to recovery, and certainly we all wish him well, and we're glad so many fans are concerned about it.
You bet on that.
Napa Field standing update, where your favorite driver is at 143 laps.
You know, Hut Strickland, we see the 27 car here. At the first of the race, he really moved up when they dropped the green, and now he's back in 12th place. Going outside up there, Morgan Shepherd coming up under him. Looked like his car was really good when the race first started.
Morgan Shepherd has just been phenomenal this year. He's always up in the top 10 when the race is over. He's running the car quite well this year.
I'll tell you, I think with Eddie Wood, Lynn Wood, Leonard, and all those guys, the more they work together, the more that thing will gel. And there's no doubt Morgan's won races with some different teams, and I'm telling you, this car right here is plenty capable of winning races.
Watching Dick Trickle, Larry Hendricks Mannheim auction car, and now Shepherd tries the high side, and Ricky Rudd moves in.
I don't think Trickle's got this car handling like he wants it yet, Neil. You notice he pulled way over on the inside going through the corner there instead of letting the car move out just a little bit. Now he's up high. One corner he's low, next corner he's high. I think his car is giving him a hard time.
I'll tell you what he does do, he gets a good jump off that corner. The motor seems to really accelerate good off the corner. But right in the middle, like you're talking about, but he's not just knocking off like he wants to.
Take you back up to the race for 5th. Bill Elliott, Rick Mass, Darrell Waltrip, Sterling Marlin, Bobby Labonte, and Dale Earnhardt drifted back a bit from that battle in 10th place. Here's the way they're running at Phoenix. 152 laps, 4 laps from halfway in the Slick 5500. TNN's live coverage continues after this. Riding along with Mark Martin as they take the halfway sign. Smoker down in turn 1.
Hut Strickland's car.
Oh.
Yeah, he's pulling way to the inside.
Yeah, looks like they left the fryolator on too long.
And he just knocked it out of gear. He had a tremendous amount of smoke coming out of it. The question was there any oil in the middle of that corner? They're going through that area right now.
And it looks like everything's okay, so we'll stay green here. We've had 7 caution flags thus far for 32 laps. As Darrell Waltrip moves around Loy Allen Jr. He started 21st. You can see Waltrip's march toward the front. He's now the 7th place car.
Mike, they said the 27 did drop a valve coming off that corner.
And Strickland apparently doesn't think it's terminal. He did not take the car to the garage. Instead, he has come to pit road.
Neil, if that was a valve, it got a lot more than just a valve. A valve don't smoke.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably dropped it and swallowed it through the piston or something. But, boy, it did go away, didn't it?
Yeah, they're pushing it back to go in behind the wall now.
There's what we saw a few laps earlier as they went that corner.
Go ahead.
You see this right here? The motor's smoking a little bit. Watch it right here. That's where it really turned loose.
Yep. Hut Strickland will leave this team at the end of 1993. Jimmy Spencer will drive that car. Here is Strickland's new ride, Smokin' Joe's Racing. Camel Cigarettes will sponsor the Travis Carter-owned team, car number 23. They rolled this car out on the parade lap this morning, and Hut Strickland will be the driver.
That's like a spotted dog. You'll have to get used to looking at that.
It's a unique color scheme, to be sure.
Here they're going in the garage. That thing terminal, I believe. And I tell you what, we're watching Mark Martin lead by a tremendous amount. When he made that call earlier, he said, hey, we need to loosen this car up some. There he was leading the race, but he felt like he needed to better for long runs. Bad news, folks. He bettered it.
Mark Martin is third in the points, first in the race. Rusty Wallace is ninth. This man, Dale Earnhardt, is 10th. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, we came to Earnhardt's pit to find out what his problem was. The car just not handling the way they wanted to. Richard Childress told me the car is way too tight. They set the car up yesterday afternoon under clear, sunny skies. The racetrack was warm. They set the car up to combat those conditions. Today it's cloudy and overcast. The track is cooler. The car is just simply way too tight. They can't take enough wedge out of it to loosen it up. They're going to have to do something else. They're talking right now about exactly what that's going to be.
And Glenn, as the folks at home saw on the graphic, the way Earnhardt's running now, he could not clinch the title today. He needs a 186-point lead over Wallace to put it completely away. Right now, it's only a 36-point margin based on where they're running at the moment.
Looks like Derek Cope's car just went away going in turn 3. It's the right front tire went away on him, Mike. He's got a flat.
Cope comes to pit road as we're at 163 laps. 26 cars still on the lead lap. And we asked Travis Carter, who right now works for Bud Moore on Lake Speed's team, about next year.
A lot of exciting things happening for us. We've just announced that Camel Cigarettes will be our new sponsor. Name of Smoking Joe's race team. We'll be campaigning a Ford Thunderbird. Hut Strickland will be our driver. And we're in the process of building a brand new race team for that. Really looking forward to the future.